Hello everybody, you know me, okay, you know you don't, but you know who I am. I am Issa J, your Smart Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight Champion. I got it this past week. Alongside me as always is...
Liam Landry, your former champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, damn you, whoever that woman was that interfered.
Martinez, I think her
Martinez.
Or... I already forgot her name. Drat.
Yes. I mean, thinking it was Martinez, should have just put her with Mercedes Martinez. At least be someone will recognize.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, she came in, she botched, and she lost me the title.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, she had like a really good throw. It's just the table they got it from Japan.
She hit the wrong part of the table though too.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't square in the middle. And also, you have to have a lot of force for that. Because, I mean, when it comes to a lot of women, they're very smaller than guys. And even small guys, they have trouble going through tables. If you see a lot in the indies. Like, when you have a lot of, like, guys who are, like, 220 pounds and stuff, they can kind of go through tables pretty easily. But smaller people, and, of course, a lot of the women, it's a challenge. I still always go back to that first WWE women's table match.
Yeah.
Where they tried to put both Michelle McCool and Layla, I believe it was, for Laycool. They tried to put both of them through a table and it still didn't break. So that happens. But, whatever. Yeah, move on. Yeah. Just gotta win it next time. And I guess Elimination Chamber is the next one?
No, Revolution.
Oh, yeah, Revolution.
AEW Revolution coming up next week. And at the end of the show, we'll talk to you guys all about what's going on there. But
would that be the first time non-WWE pay-per-view had the switch?
You won it back when we did NXT and AEW.
The double one.
Yeah. What show was that again?
Was it Double or Nothing?
Yes.
Yes. So that was the first time.
No, not Double or Nothing. It was All Out.
Okay, yeah, so that was the first time. But this was the first time it's going to be solely not WWE related.
Yes.
Because that was a dual threat.
And the only thing with because the last time it was just for an advantage for the WWE pay-per-view.
So anyways, yeah. So how was your week?
No, it was ups and downs and all arounds, I got to finish BoJack Horseman season, the final season. I got to finish The Magician season 4 and almost finished with iZombie. So a lot of stuff that I haven't been able to finish yet is getting finished. So that's really cool. What about you, sir? How's your week?
It was fine.
That's good.
Yeah, no big complaints.
Anything notable happened?
No. Don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our week, and now it's time to get ready for Shooting with the Smarky Family, episode 61. And we're gonna start off like we start off every single week. It is news outside of the WWE. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what that means, it means we talk about all the big talking points in the news that are wrestling that's not associated with the big boys, WWE. And we got some pretty good three pretty good ones here so far. We're going to start off with something light, just a little talking point.
Yep.
Austin Aries and Raven were spotted at an AEW event. AEW is All Elite Wrestling, and they are they're two really big names in the world of wrestling for different reasons. And they were spotted in different ways. And we're going to go with Raven first. So at the Battle Royale, the tag team Battle Royale that happened this past Wednesday for AEW Dynamite, after SCU and the Dark Order were eliminated, SCU started getting into a fight with the original Dark Order members, And on the side, you can see Raven just sitting there in the crowd. That has a lot of people speculating, is the higher order going to be Raven? Is it going to be someone else? Still, we don't know who that is, and that's going to be a big news point once that's revealed, or when he is revealed, or she is revealed.
I think we all know who it's going to be. It was me all along, Christopher Daniels. Vince McMahon, how does this even make sense? This is a different company, damn it. It was a copyright issue. He has to be all the higher powers.
We got him in for this one bit. But that would actually be really funny. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who it's going to be.
I would love if for the reveal they replicate that. It was me all along.
That would be great. They should do it. They have JR. He can do the same thing he did for when it was revealed.
By God. By God, it's Raven.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on seeing Raven in the crowd with the Dark Order around?
It doesn't really need to mean much.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely more as a red herring if they did mean something
mm-hmm.
than anything realistic.
Right.
They could definitely. He's always definitely an option in there, but I don't feel that they would do this. It's a little too obvious.
Right.
So if it was any intention into there, it would be that it's a red herring.
To throw people off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or that he was just sitting there because he was just, he was just there to watch it.
That would actually be really. That's what I'm hoping. That he was just there as a ticket buying patron, and they were just like, "Hey, Raven's there. Should we have him just do something since he's here?" It's like, I think he bought a ticket.
I mean, I wouldn't even say ticket buying. I mean, I would assume it would just be him asking for a ticket and then giving it to him. Because, I mean, why not? Do all those things. So I don't feel that it would be, it would just be too obvious right now to do that.
Right.
So, red herring to get people talking about it. If they ever do anything, you could be a good backstage guy and to do help like promo classes.
Yeah.
You'd be real helpful with that. But like I said, if they didn't do this, then he could have been a better option for actually being the higher power. But because of doing this, it's more obvious that he's not.
Mm-hmm.
So
right. The other person, Austin Aries, was spotted by a fan getting out of a vehicle with Diamond Dallas Page. And in Austin
just
Aries,
like to see it like pull back. It's like, oh my God, it's Raven. Excalibur, like, that's so Raven.
And then they had Austin Aries play a little bit of on Twitter saying, I was in the dark, but now I'm Dynamite. Nothing has been said of him being signed to the company or actually wrestling for the company or anything like that. We'll see on AEW Dark this next Tuesday if he's done anything. But no reports have happened as of yet, and a lot of people are saying that it was just for DDP yoga and stem cell research and getting things off the ground for awareness and all that, which is why they were teaming up together. Your thoughts on Austin Aries?
There's a lot of times where wrestlers who are friends will attend events like that backstage. So it's nothing too unique right now. It can be something, but it doesn't actually have to be something right now.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just like the rumors are saying that it was just for the stem cell research voices and DDP yoga and just stuff like that.
Yeah, they're also showing some of their. We were watching AEW Dark right now from this past week. They were showing the commercial for some new merch they had in there. That's cool. They had Pharaoh with the knife in the mouth. They had like a Gundam looking thing for Kenny Omega. I like the best friend shirt too.
They have a lot of good merch right now.
And they have the I Heart AEW, which if you buy one, of the profit goes to donate to the American Heart Foundation. I
Oh, that's
believe it
cool.
was. Yeah, I've been seeing that on Twitter and then that ad right there. So they're helping out because I believe it's like, what do they call, like American Heart Month or something? It's heart. It's about heart disease awareness this month. So they're trying to help promote it with an I Heart AEW shirt.
Mm-hmm. And then, so yeah, a lot of cool things happening with AEW, as well as they have their own action figures now, so that's really cool.
Yeah, but let's also see what's happening in some of the other promotions too.
Alright, let's go. Let's talk about Impact, shall we? Everyone loves a bit of Impact. And when it comes to the knockouts, they are right now some of the best women's division going on. And they've crowned a brand new champion. Who could that be, Liam?
Could be Jordan Grace, someone who's been chasing that championship for a while now.
Oh my gosh, you are correct. It is in fact Jordan Grace. Apparently, it happened a while ago, but it hadn't aired until I think this past Tuesday.
Right.
So
I mean, we don't tend to do a lot of spoiler-based stuff.
Correct.
So I mean, that's why we would go now. I even seen that she's already got a photo shoot with it as well, put online. Jordan Grace. So that's cool to see.
Yeah, and she also, I think yesterday she wrestled Taya Valkyrie for the rematch and got the win a second time by choking her out. So 2 really big clean wins for Jordan, and I'm actually really happy about it because she's really, really talented, really good. The match that we saw her with Taya Valkyrie and that other lady, ODB, thank you, was actually a really good match for that Impact show we watched the last month. So yeah, a lot of good stuff happening.
Yeah.
And
I guess to be fair, we were saying that Rhino had the best match of a legacy guy coming back. But I guess we should have said that was ODB really,
right?
Because I mean she was kind of a legacy that's come back, and I guess she really had the best match of any ones in there.
Yeah,
any legacy person in there. Yeah, that was a good match, but definitely felt like they were trying to push off and not have her win it just yet. I thought it was maybe going to have to go to the next pay-per-view, but apparently they pulled the trigger before that.
And it's really cool because, like we've said, we're big fans of Jordan Grace, and we wish her all the best.
Yes.
Any last things to point out for that?
No, just like you said, congratulations to Jordan Grace.
Right. All right, and then the final bit of news outside of the outside of the WWE is at Rev Pro. They're a British company, and Zack Sabre Jr. has finally lost his title, and it's not to the high flying hitman Billy Seahawk, because he doesn't exist yet. It is the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. He is now your Rev Pro British Heavyweight Champion, and that's big.
Yeah, so the championship still stays with that New Japan guy, but at least it's an English person. It's been bouncing around a lot of Japanese guys. Well, I should definitely say, who has it? Kushida, Ishii, Minoru Suzuki. So those were some of the names of the people who had it the most in recent, and also Will Ospreay.
Right.
So it's always been a thing, and it's just been kept around for New Japan guys, but at least this guy was technically British, born. Right? I don't know if he's still British citizen. I know he's moving to Japan, but he may still have citizenship.
Right.
I don't know his immigration status, but yeah. So at least, so it's a New Japan guy, but it is a guy with British background, so it makes more sense.
But yeah, that's really cool, and he's definitely put in a lot of work, and it's really cool to see him as a centerpiece for the promotion. Zack Sabre Jr. and him and Will Ospreay had a match where Will Ospreay lost not too long ago, so actually having a title change in Britain this past week is really big, and also a 5-star match given by Mr.
Dave Meltzer.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. Both those guys are really talented and will work well together.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun to see where everything goes into the future. However, I do know that he is now in second place, tied for second place in Jack the Jobber's Wrestler of the Week leaderboard.
Only tied?
Yes, only
He's
tied.
doing so poorly this year.
He is. He had a very slow start, but it's still second place now.
I mean, we haven't gotten to the G1 yet.
Exactly.
The Super Juniors.
And it hasn't been like a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling matches just yet, like shows just yet.
Yeah, well, after Wrestle Kingdom, they haven't had another one of their major shows.
Right.
Cause
Next one is Sakura.
Yeah, Sakura Genesis, which shouldn't have passed yet. It should still be coming up. Because that's springtime yet, because, it has to be cherry blossoms blooming.
Right.
Always a great time to go see Japan. So the weather's good and see cherry blossoms, of course. And you get all the merchandise. Because that's the thing, you just have cherry blossom everything. Like, you get your Sakura Starbucks and your Sakura Pepsi.
Interesting.
It's actually cherry blossom Pepsi. It's like all the merchandise, including, as I pointed out, the ones from America, get in on it and make their own cherry blossom themed food and flavored food.
So I know a lot of people were like down on the librarians, but I think that they're actually a fun gimmick. I think Peter Avalon and Leva Bates do a good job with the characters they're given.
Yeah, they're quite entertaining. So we have 2 title changes and some appearances. So some news outside, WWE, but probably wasn't the biggest move, news week.
Especially outside, but more so inside, because I could only find 3 things that were actually newsworthy. Everything else had to do with a lot of stipulations and stuff like that. See, I'm actually on the side of Leva Bates. Why would you just throw the book like that when she's just trying to show him something? That was very rude.
I just saw the other day a funny book. It was called "How to Talk to Your Cat About Gun Safety."
Oh my gosh. That's a funny title.
Yeah. I feel it's important, cats just getting everywhere and just no regard for other people's safety. They'll probably shoot someone.
But yeah, so what
But yeah, we go on to our next thing, huh?
Exactly. It is the news inside of the WWE. What does that entail, Liam?
It entails that we're going to cover news stories that are mostly inside WWE and mostly pertain to WWE wrestlers.
Yes, and the first one, I said do that one first. So we're gonna crush everyone's spirit about the Hall of Fame. The Bella Twins have now officially been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. It was rumored for the last 3 weeks, but now officially confirmed, making them the third group or people or whatever going into the Hall of Fame right now. First, obviously NWO. Second was Dave Bautista, and now it is the Bella Twins. Your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm gonna guess this is another time where it was leaked information instead of. They've really had struggle with that for years now, of not being able to make the announcements themselves and having to respond merely to leaks. But yeah, to go into there, it's like I don't think they were ever really in the situation that they seem to be put in. They really only had, and to be fair, it was really only Nikki Bella, if you really think about it, was put into that long-term championship run, and that was really Like, I really don't feel like they had a huge amount of storyline.
No, a lot of it was because of the fallout with AJ Lee, and that was the point where the women's division was very weak.
Yeah, so it's kind of a little weird in that regard. Even if you undercut like what the fans think, even there it doesn't seem like they were put into huge storylines. I mean, if anything, their biggest like benefit to WWE was probably their reality show, because I mean it does well ratings and probably makes good money for them.
Right.
Because I mean I don't really remember. I guess what like their biggest segment was probably with the one where they feed with each other. I wish you died in the womb. Everyone remember that gem?
I tried to forget that gem.
So it's one of those things where it's like it seems more background than like legitimate case of someone in there, and it's not even like what you feel about them as wrestlers. Because I don't think even in storyline they really had that much until the very end, and still then it just seemed mostly mostly the Nikki Bella show, which I guess shows she did improve the best of the two.
I mean, Brie was the one who knocked out Liv Morgan in her recent run. She's also the one who knocked out, or did injure another current superstar.
Yeah.
I don't remember which superstar, but I remember it happening. Was it Carmella?
I don't think so. But yeah, anyways, though, it's kind of, I don't know, like knowing their background situation of like backstage situation, it made more sense, and knowing that they do find that the Total Divas brand very beneficial for them as a company. Like that's the only reason I can think of like really putting them in there. If you really look into it, it's like not put into great storylines through most of their history. Not really looked at like the top people. Like at that time, they're not top stars. You have more like Lay Cool was a lot bigger as a women's duo comparatively when you really break it down. Well, and then a lot of other women that probably were more deserving, like, and could have been put into that place. So it's a little odd. If you really look into it. I'm not like, I want to try to keep a bias as much out of it as possible, and not just to say like, oh, you just don't like them or think that they just got there because of who they were dating with, but it's like, really, it seems odd. I think they had better choices.
I mean, to be fair, Lay Cool.
Yeah. And even in there, it's like maybe it could have even been better to wait on it, because I know they have cross brand appeal, because there's people that don't watch wrestling but do watch Total Divas. So I'm seeing people who like don't watch wrestling, but they're like, my wife really likes the Bella Twins. So it's like, yeah, that's understandable for that, but it's like even then it seemed like, hey, why don't you wait? You kind of had that with Batista. Couldn't you just wait for them to be like? I mean, I'm saying like, babe, you can have them be the big celebrity crossovers to appeal to casuals. Well, so even that doesn't even make sense to put them in now. But I don't know. There's other women that was probably be more deserving from in-ring work and storyline base. Like you said, Lay Cool, Kelly, whatever you think of her in-ring ability, I'm still saying like she was the top in storyline basis for her time.
To be fair, someone who had not only the talent but had everything going for her, AJ Lee.
Or if they rebuild relationships, Melina.
Definitely.
Another one who was the top of her field at the time and was also well liked, was well skilled.
Definitely one of my favorites.
So there's definitely a lot of it definitely seems odd. If I'm gonna break it down, I'm gonna try to break it down as fairly as possible. It seems like their biggest contribution, and not to be rude to them, because it is a very big contribution.
Right.
But it is the reality TV show.
Yeah, Total Divas and Total Bellas.
Yeah, it seems like that's their biggest contribution and their biggest reasons to be put in here.
Exactly.
Because they've only had small sort of runs.
Mm-hmm. And
only near the end of their career.
Alright, let's keep this train moving. Basically, to be fair, we don't agree with the decision, but we have to respect it. It's not
I would
our
say
choices.
it's probably going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Just because of that cross-promotional appeal, but...
It's just weird that it's happening so soon.
Yeah.
Next, we have a WWE superstar, Shelton Benjamin. He re-signed for a new multi-year deal, so he added on to his current deal right now. Shelton Benjamin is a very good talent. Had a very funny moment with getting betrayed by Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble this past January, and yeah, it was definitely a surprise that he's signed a multi-year deal. We don't know the full extent of the deal when it comes to the money or the length, but the way the WWE deals or contracts are going right now, it's probably it's 4 to 5 years most likely. But regardless, we definitely want to say congratulations because he's at least making money, and they do still use him every now and again. But yeah, your thoughts on Shelton Benjamin?
I guess I'll just say congratulations to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a shame. I think he was a good wrestler. And probably had a lot of opportunity, but was very underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
And even now. But, you know, it's whatever, I guess. As his career, he can do what he wants with it. If that's his goal, so.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we're not even sure if they even have like any storylines planned for him, or if it. Regardless, like Liam said, congratulations, and we hope the best for him. Obviously. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Next is the saddest yet happiest news of the show. WWE superstar Kairi Sane has now been married. It happened not too long ago, and I think it was done like basically in secret because she keeps her relationships
Very private.
exactly. Because I mean, to be fair, it is her private life. So yeah, that's really cool that she's happy, found love, and is now the wife to a very lucky man. Your final thoughts on this story?
Oh, I mean, I just hope that he's also a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
It's Suzuki. You know, he likes pirates.
Ooh, that'd be one interesting union.
Yeah.
Minoru Suzuki
I actually
and
wonder if he's married.
Kairi Sane. It's possible.
I don't know.
The Japanese is a different
Isn't that? I don't know much about his private life.
culture, right? It's a definitely a different culture when it comes to private lives versus lives seen in the public. So yeah, but it's really cool that she's happy and she's found love. That's what most people wish for.
Yes, I mostly just know Suzuki as badass, video game mocapper, fashionista. That's about it. I don't know anything about him other than that. But yeah, so congratulations to both parties involved. May they have a bunch of little happy pirate babies.
And yeah,
I guess maybe not soon because we still want to see Kairi Sane out there. But
Oh yeah,
eventually.
especially at this year's WrestleMania. You think they're gonna do anything with the pirate ship?
No,
Everyone is really hoping for it.
they're not. It's gonna be like pirate ship. Why would we do that? It's not a yachting ship. It's not gonna happen. People are gonna be too hyped about it. I mean, it'd be great if it did. You know, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, we'll definitely have to wait until April.
It was a surprise that they did the zip line for Shawn Michaels
Mm-hmm.
when they did. Seeing as though I believe that was after. I believe that was after Owen had his issue
Mm-hmm.
with zip lines. And,
Yeah.
But it's
Apparently, Vince McMahon did it first to show Shawn Michaels that it was safe before Shawn Michaels would do it. So,
so yeah, I don't think it's happening. But yeah, congratulations to them. Hopefully, a long and happy marriage.
All right. And is that everything?
Yeah, I believe that's all the news that we wanted to cover.
Right. Like we said, not a big week for news.
Yeah, super hefty news week.
And we'll see what happens in this next week. It's time for segment number 3, though.
I would also say we did probably have some rumors to go over, but we don't tend to do a lot of rumors.
Yeah.
We try to, unless it's a lot of backing behind it, we try to
Mhm.
stay away from it. So that's just something we tend to avoid. I know there was some other rumors about WrestleMania matches and things like that, but we just kind of tend to avoid those in the news segment. We may do those for like speculation stuff, but not
Right.
news.
Exactly, because news has to be concrete, or well, it's not news.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for segment number 3, and it is the best segment of the week. It's where we take our favorite matches, promos, or what have you in the world of wrestling, and we talk about it. What was yours, my good friend, this past week? And remember, Portland counts.
Right. I think I would have to go to the tag match. The Broserweights and versus
My boys.
Undisputed Era, yes. I guess I'll give it to that.
Yeah.
There's still, like, I still am wanting to be bothered about the not real tag teams doing stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm also not one to find that the whole opening bit be super hilarious. I know a lot of people like that. I was more like, yeah, it is what it is, I guess. But I like the match itself. It was a real good match. Some other honorable mentions, I would say. I really like the AEW Dark main event there. I thought it was I thought it was a nice full match of different things. Comedy, high spots, storytelling. I thought it was very well rounded and entertaining, and a really good television match.
I totally agree with you. Before you give another honorable mention, I'm going to give you my match of the week. And it was, because I know we share the exact same opinion on the Broserweights versus Undisputed Era.
Yes.
Because that was the best match of the week. But I definitely want to highlight another match, and it is the Best Friends taking on the Hybrid 2. These two teams are amazing. Definitely should be a little bit higher up on the card than what they are. But seeing them on AEW Dark this week do their thing was a lot of fun. A lot of the same with Young Bucks and QT Marshall and Peter Avalon. It was a lot of high spots, a lot of good comedy, and a lot of good storytelling. I loved how attacking Orange Cassidy basically ended up biting the Hybrid 2 in the butt at the end of the match. It all came back full circle. And a lot of good stuff there. And Orange Cassidy, one of the probably other than Luchasaurus, the most over guy in all of Elite Wrestling right now. maybe Cody has a claim to that as well. But yeah, he's it was definitely a really good match, and I would definitely say go check that one out. It's free on YouTube. You can easily access it, and if you have the network, it's very easy to find Takeover Portland and watch some of those matches. But my other honorable mention, and I know you didn't really care for it, but I really liked it, was Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox in the street fight. I actually really enjoyed that match, for me personally. Yeah. However, I did want to bring this up right before we go off. Tommaso Ciampa versus Adam Cole. It was really funny how we were both like, wow, this was a really good match until the end. But everyone else was like, oh, wow, it ended perfectly. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It was an overbooked mess at the end.
Yeah, and also kind of just came out of nowhere, that turn. I don't necessarily...
It wasn't really a good one, too, because after Johnny took the title, why then does Tommaso Ciampa reach his head out to get hit? It was very telegraphed.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it failed in a lot of those regards for that. And also, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, so I guess it's another Ciampa Gargano match.
Probably take over Tampa, unless they pull the trigger on NXT TV. But yeah, I am not one of the people who whine about near falls and kickouts.
I do remember
stuff.
NXT diversity is our strength.
Mm-hmm.
Give us new things.
Mm-hmm. But
I mean, he already gave us female Gargano, Ciampa, and Dakota Kai, and why am I blanking on her name?
Tegan Nox.
Tegan Nox, yeah. That's. I mean, you even have the knee braces to work off of.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised I didn't get involved.
With double the knee braces too.
Yeah, they could have both put each other in knee brace cross braces.
But yeah, I'm not the person who whines about near falls and kickouts and stuff, especially when it comes to something so prestigious as a championship, because you're gonna put your all in and you're gonna try to kick out even if you got a finisher hit on you early on or later in the match. So that doesn't bother me. What bothered me was all of the overbooking with Undisputed Era coming out and then Johnny coming out and kicking out of certain things that make no sense. But that is what I didn't care for. But at the end of the day, a good pay-per-view, not the best.
Yeah, I mean,
like everyone else was saying.
I definitely didn't care for all of the kickouts. Because they were just too predictable. So
they're going to Tijuana.
Yeah, I mean, they've been to Tijuana before. We saw that episode too, with the Tijuana. They had that fight on the rooftop.
Oh, that was there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool,
like
cool.
3 guys going through those boards and stuff.
Yeah. Are they called Injustice, I think?
No, that was another group.
Oh,
that was like all luchadors. I'm not.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. But that was our best segment of the week. It's time to move on to segment number 4, and it is, are you serious? It's where we take a concept, or we take something that has happened in wrestling and we rant and or praise on it.
Can I also go and say one other thing? I also probably give honorary mention. We didn't see it, but I would assume that both the that Rev Pro match, which could possibly go up on the New Japan World, they sometimes put Rev Pro stuff that involves both New Japan guys. So it's a possibility he can go up there, but it's not for certain. That and also Cody and Wardlow's steel cage match. Both of those probably could have been put in there if we saw them, but we're not able to see them this week.
Right.
So give some honorary mentions because I hear those are some really good matches.
Mm-hmm.
I think even Brian Alvarez said afterwards, and was like, don't tell me there's no such thing as like pure baby faces that can get over and after the Cody match.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's very nice praise. So yeah. So I just wanted to mention those. Just to talk about them and get out of the way.
Exactly. But a man should not have that control with his thighs. It's crazy.
Austin Aries be upset like
Mm-hmm.
don't do the world's greatest insult.
That's my move.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tom, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna rant or praise. What do you have this week for us?
I'd say a mini rant of just I don't want to talk too much about this because I will also bring up it somewhat again later, but in a different format. But it will be, are you serious about the lack of style diversity in NXT? I think they need more stuff. Like, I know they had a street match and I kind of shake things up a bit, but I think they need more different concepts, different styles and techniques. There are some wrestling events that do it much better where it comes to, like, I think I talked about New Japan a lot when we watched shows from it. So talking about how they had really good differentiating in styles to keep it more entertaining. So they really need to kind of do that more, especially if you're going to go adding more matches to NXT. Don't just give me thinking like, oh, it's just more of the same.
Right.
Don't give me similar finishes back to back. Don't give me similar spots multiple times in a match. Multiple matches in a night, I should say. Because like they had the whole get hit with powerbomb, pop up no sell. Then later in the Keith Lee match, and then a little later in the tag match, they had get hit with German suplex and pop up and no sell. So it's like it's a lot of stuff that just kind of deflates after a while, and you just kind of see it and it too much, and you just need to have more diversity. It's a problem that the main roster has, but the thing with the main roster is that it's a too much of like an already bad concept to go with. Like people will give NXT a more pass because it's a more entertaining style, but they still need to shake things up a bit.
And now that the purple one is back, blanking on his name.
Velveteen Dream.
Thank you. Now that Velveteen Dream is back, he's definitely going to help in bringing some of that variety. Just him and EC3, like we said last week, with their homage to Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan, that was really, really funny and definitely helped lighten the mood when the other crazier matches were about to start. I'm going to praise this week, and I'm going to praise AEW for doing a lot of good now with the women's division. They finally have enough wrestlers to start doing storylines, and they're definitely putting in the effort to do a lot with them. We've already seen Big Swole and Chris Statlander get mentioned and about to fight for a number one contendership. The title change, Hikaru Shida, Riho, and let me see if I can get her. Oh my gosh.
Yuka Sakazaki.
Yuka Sakazaki. Sorry, I said Yuki and I knew that was wrong. But Yuka Sakazaki, her coming back and doing a lot of good. And of course, all the other ladies that are not fully developed but coming up the card, like Diamante or Jaina. We just saw her, but I forgot her name already. She's Brazilian. That lady. And a couple of others as well. It's really cool to see them actually focusing and putting effort into all of their divisions, not just the tag team, not just the men's. So it's going to be really, really fun to see just where it goes from here. And I know I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yes.
So we are excited, and keep up the good work, AEW. I know I've been ranting a lot on them, so I thought I'd give them a little bit of praise. Because when they do a good job, you gotta acknowledge it. You ready to keep going?
Yeah. My other one I was thinking was going to be a rant on AEW. It was going to be like, are you serious, AEW? With your super stacked dynamite cards? That's too much, man. Too much. Battle Royals.
Too much, man.
And steel cage matches. You're just giving people way too much. On
John
TV.
Moxley and the Isles of Samoa, or
John Moxley and
Jeff Cobb.
Yes.
That's a pay-per-view match right there, if I've ever heard of one.
Yeah, are you serious? That's too much, man. Too much.
Next week, it's going to be a 30-minute Iron Man match between Pac and Kenny Omega. So that's going to be interesting.
That's literally too much, man. Too much.
Hey, it's not the hour-long Iron Man match like that he had in with Okada.
That was an Iron Man match. That was 2 out of 3
Oh, it was 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah.
Close enough. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. You ready to start?
Also, I should say I'm still a little bothered that they never gave WWE never gave a women's 60-minute Iron Man match.
Mm-hmm. One day.
As they always just strip it down to 30 minutes, even on regular pay-per-views, and it's like, seems a little insulting. I feel some of them can go with those 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe one day it'll happen.
One day.
Alright, it is time for the next segment of the show, and it is Book It Yourself. It's where we take a concept of a person, a storyline, a gimmick, a match, and, well, we are the bookers. We book it ourselves. And,
Here's one book at Super Showdown. Don't. See?
we did it.
Yeah. We booked it.
Yes. That's happening really soon.
Yes.
But,
Goldberg, Bray Wyatt. Didn't he already spear him as the Fiend?
yes, that happened Friday.
It's like, don't you think that kind of diminishes the character?
Well, you see, here's the thing about that. It's going, whenever the Fiend gets something happen to him, he's able to then take it and use it when it's actually in the match. So he'll win. He better win.
He wins via taser.
Goldberg's coming for the spear. No!
You have Scott Hall pop up with the taser. It's like Kevin Ashby back in WCW.
Oh boy. Let's not give them ideas. I feel like we accidentally have given them too many ideas already.
Yeah.
Let's book.
Let's Goldberg like leans and it's like, I'm really glad that they paired me with you. You know, seeing that you can't die from stuff. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable. It's like, that was kayfabe.
Yeah, that's kayfabe, dude.
I was also in kayfabe.
Just now.
Backstage with no cameras? In the locker room? By yourselves?
Gotta keep it real, brother. Gotta keep it real. That's not kayfabe, Bill. Don't contradict me.
Turns to the mirror. Bray Wyatt turns to the mirror and is like, I'm dead. He's going to kill me.
Vince, I'm not comfortable with this. Yeah, let's book Bailey up until WrestleMania.
Okay.
Right now, she has a match against Naomi for the Women's Champion at Super Showdown. So we're gonna start there and then book her feud to WrestleMania and her match at WrestleMania.
So it's just Naomi? Because I know she was also having a feud with Carmella, right?
Yeah, they had a match against each other. Naomi came out on top. And from what I can tell, she did not sell a lot. Or if at all. Because Naomi never sells for her opponents, and it's really frustrating. But let's not get into that. Alright, so we start off with Naomi and Bailey in Saudi Arabia. Who ends up getting the win there?
I think we keep it on Bailey.
I agree. Because
Yes.
I do not want to see Naomi as a champion ever again. So the next night on SmackDown, who's going? I don't know if she is cleared to wrestle yet, but I would love for it to be Ember Moon. But who do you think should come out and challenge her for WrestleMania?
How about? Because we still have some ways to go before WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel is, how about Carmella again?
Mm-hmm.
But then have someone else come out. And that's your storyline, is that Carmella keeps coming out, putting on a good, almost getting there, like getting the crowd behind her, but then keeps getting taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone else gets the big match. And it's like, and you have Carmella do like, she'll go and she'll win like non-title matches against Bailey, or like being a tag team match and get the pin on Bailey. But then it's like, I'm another woman. I'm Lacey Evans, and I'm gonna usurp your spot, and I'm gonna be in there and take it. And you kind of continue the storyline, and then Carmella's
So
just gonna keep getting more frustrated.
We're gonna do this. Now after Super Showdown, next show is Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So a big non-title match. And no, we're gonna have a tag team match. Sasha Banks makes her return, and it's Lacey Evans and Carmella taking on Sasha Banks and Bailey. Carmella wins by rolling up Bailey, surprise roll up 1, 2, 3 in the tag match. Carmella's like, I just pinned you, but Lacey Evans comes out, is like, I was on that team, I want that shot too. They end up having the number one contendership match for Elimination Chamber the next week, and Carmella just misses out. Even though she keeps getting the one up on Bailey, she just misses out a second time. Really getting the crowd invested for WrestleMania, like you said. And
I would go and say, like, have her be your non-title match.
mm-hmm.
Have her get the pin in the tag team match. Then when you have the match with number one contender
with Lacey,
yes, have interference from Bailey. Like very light one, but allows Lacey to come on top. So that's showing that Lacey as like a heel. Like Lacey's definitely not like looking like she's working with her.
mm-hmm.
It's just kind of coincidental, and Lacey gets to pick up. So she's not a heel. It's not
mm-hmm.
turning around, but showing the idea that to put forward that Bailey is afraid of Carmella.
There we go.
And she wants to keep away to build the frustration and to keep her heat, so she's not losing legitimately even in a close match.
Exactly. Just kind of like what happened this past week, in a way. And we're just gonna keep, after Naomi loses, we're just gonna keep her out and let her do her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
With,
I guess win another women's rumble or something.
yes,
Yeah.
why not? So now it is Elimination Chamber, Lacey versus Bailey. How does that match go? Is that Psycho Clown?
No, it was just a clown.
Oh, okay.
A lot of clown gimmicks in Mexico.
Hmm.
But yeah, you have a close matchup, but Sasha Banks wins after some not necessarily nefarious things at the end there, getting the pin. I like the heel work of putting him in the handicap spot.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, now we're watching MLW Fusion from this past week, if people are wondering. So as it goes, not necessarily heel ending, but some cheating maneuvers to take advantage. Just to kind of establish that, but still legitimately beat Lacey Evans at the Elimination Chamber.
Right.
And then it could even give something for Lacey Evans to try to come back and say, no, I'm still in there. But Carmella's like, no, I should still be in there. I keep coming around for it. She's afraid of me. And have Bailey almost trying to pit Carmella and Lacey Evans against each other so that they not go into her. You know?
Right.
Try to show her as like very manipulative and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so Lacey Evans has just lost. What happens on the next Friday? Where do we go from there on Friday?
I'd say you have like a face-off between Carmella and Lacey Evans, because Lacey Evans comes out to complain, but Carmella's comes out to say like, no, it should be my turn now. And Lacey Evans is like, hey, did you see out there she cheated to help her win? And it's like, well, did you see our match where she cheated to help you win? And split there, and still try to keep both of them as faces, but just with different dynamics. And like Lacey going like, well, I didn't ask her to help. She did that on her own. I didn't even know about it beforehand. You can't blame me for it. I wasn't working with her. And just have more of that. And like I said, it's Bailey manipulating her in the background. Eventually they'll set up another time for a number one contenders match where we're all going to bring back Naomi for this. Because it'd be Naomi, Lacey Evans, and Carmella as a triple threat for like all the women that have been involved in there. But then Bailey works some of the little manipulation in there with backstage. She gets another person in there, Sasha Banks, be put in there as a fourth person.
That's good. So it's a fatal four-way for
and the fatal four-way elimination style, because I always find that makes it more interesting. But it's a build-up of Carmella coming back and really solidifying herself as number one contender.
Would you have Carmella pin each and every one of them? Or would you have something heely happen with Lacey Evans, trying to keep her as big a babyface as they're trying to book her?
I would say give Carmella at least a lot of the situations where she puts them in the situation to pin or tap out, but Sasha Banks comes in to steal her. And so it goes for that way, like for both of them, Naomi, Lacey Evans, like Carmella puts them down, but Sasha Banks comes in and steals the pin and gets the glory.
Okay.
And then it's setting up once again.
So now it becomes Sasha Banks taking on Carmella at the end.
But like it's gonna be one point where like Sasha Banks gets the last pin on Lacey Evans, but she throws Carmella.
So first
out.
one that eliminated Naomi.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, chronologically, it makes more sense. And so Carmella's on the outside, and she grabs the mic and cuts a promo about how you're keeping me down. Every time I almost get there, someone comes in and snatches it away. But not this time, because you're gonna learn that Carmella is money. And then that's just like off the top of my head. You of course have a better one, but you have a quick promo and goes in there with the crowd behind her. Bailey tries to interfere in the match, but Carmella doesn't fall for it this time. It gets the pin on Sasha Banks, and then you have a point where Sasha Banks crawling outside Bailey, like holding her, and Carmella is just like staring down Bailey, pointing at the sign, and now it's like now they have a WrestleMania match together, and that will be leading up to Bailey versus Carmella at WrestleMania. And I feel that as WrestleManias normally go, this would go to Carmella because
Mm-hmm.
she's going to be the top women's babyface at that time.
And it kind of be like last year with Becky and Kofi, except no McMahon tomfoolery this time.
It is kind of tapping into those scenarios, but I mean, those scenarios worked.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, why not?
They worked for both people, too.
And I definitely also...
It's something that does work, and when it comes to booking, because it helps them get the
I also wanted to definitely go and say that I wanted to keep it keep them as face, because I want more complexity in there, so that you can have faces be feuding with each other without one having to turn heel. And I don't think it's a situation where there's a lot of outside stimulus about Charlotte and about how she was really pushed. I don't want it to be like that. I don't want it to burn Naomi or Lacey Evans in that way. Saying like people start resenting them because they think they're getting pushed into unfairly. I want it to be viewed as, it's close, but they didn't. It's not like their fault.
Right.
They were getting, there was a lot of manipulation from Bayley. That leaves Bayley to be more of the heel, be more direct in there, even if she's not in the match, and gives more complexity to Bayley, showing her as manipulative and cunning, which gives her a lot more to work with, I feel.
I think, I really like what we've done here. And Carmella as your new women's champion would be absolutely amazing, because I feel like she didn't really get a good solid run her first time as champion.
Yeah, they really wanted her to be a heel that can wrestle.
However, she kept improving and and now she's at a level where people really enjoy watching her matches. Like, she has put in the work to be a great wrestler, not only just a talent. So I personally want to see that rewarded. Anything else to add for this week's Book It?
No, I mean, that's most of what I got.
I think it was great.
Thank you.
And I agree with a lot of your points. So it's time to move on to the next segment, and it is, what do you think? It's where we take a segment or question in our own minds, and we ask our fellow compadres, what do you think? Would you like to go first, sir?
Yeah, I'll go first. I have it written down, so I'm gonna just pull it up real quick. So my concept, and it kind of goes back to the NXT concept. It's a little in there, like I said. I was gonna revisit it, so I didn't want to talk about it too much. But the idea is a little different. It's, do you think that Triple H, as much as we know Vince McMahon, do you think Triple H also has a type when it comes to wrestler and wrestling, and that it's can also hurt the business concept? Because I'm looking at there, he really likes to seem to like smaller guys with the same type of build and same type of match style as Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa,
Finn Balor.
Yeah, and when you look at, say, EC3, it notably was very weird how anti-EC3 for Triple H seemed. Even calling him out after an NXT match at that one takeover, and not really utilizing him much, and really seemed to kick him to the main roster really quickly. And
then really the main roster kicking him to the curb right after that.
And you think, like, there's not a whole lot of big guys, and even then there's like Velveteen Dream. Like, personally, I would have already put the title on Velveteen Dream as then he's Kamati, but it's almost like he's underutilized. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but it's like almost to a degree. It would seem like Velveteen Dream wasn't liking the situation there. That's why he had like the call me up Vince. It seemed like he wanted to move on because maybe he felt like there wasn't much opportunity for him in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of feel like maybe Triple H, like I said, as much as Vince McMahon, we know he has his personality when it comes to wrestlers he likes and match styles he likes and keeping it like that. Triple H almost has a similar type of vice. What do you think?
That makes a lot of sense. If we look at all of the takeovers, most of the time they usually follow a certain pattern. A lot of like you said, Finn Balor, Johnny Tommaso, Adam Cole, heck, all of Undisputed Era, the Broserweights, with I think right now Matt Riddle is like the biggest champion they've had, not counting your recent Keith Lee, Velveteen Dream, or Samoa Joe. Those are like the three that are actually big guys that got the championship. But look at the ones before it. Bo Dallas, smaller guy. Seth Rollins, smaller guy.
Big E would be the only other one. That would be a big guy. And even when you look at it, Keith Lee came in and was Matt Riddle's friend. And, like a lot of people were saying, like, wow, they're really not doing much with Keith Lee.
Right.
And eventually they eventually got him there, but it's like a weird start where he was playing second fiddle to Matt Riddle.
Also,
Ryan wasn't intended there, just saying.
No, you're fine. Samoa Joe, even though he's a big burly dude, he has a lot of the same qualities as the smaller wrestlers, and he's not one of your big guys. Look at him compared to AOP. He's kind of small.
I said similar to Kevin Owens.
Right. Damn it, did I say Kevin Owens or did I screw up his name?
I think you didn't mention him.
I meant to say Kevin Owens.
You said like Keith Lee, EC3. Keith Lee,
I meant to say Kevin Owens just there, where he's bigger than the others, but his match styles are the exact same as the smaller guys, so he comes across as a smaller guy. Sami Zayn, even though he's tall, he's also in that same ilk of the indie performer. So I can totally see and agree where you're coming from. Look at the charisma of Big Cass and Enzo. What did they get for getting a crowd on their side? Nothing.
Same with the Street Profits.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really weird. It's like
they finally got something, but not much. It didn't last long.
Yeah.
What's the other? There's one, AOP. They got the championship for a little while. Didn't go anywhere. As well as Killian Dane. What was he a part of again? Sanity. They got the championship, but then lost it, and nothing really happened there.
Yeah.
So
there's a few times, but it definitely does seem like he has his types.
He definitely does.
Yeah.
There's so many times now where people have said, "Oh, is he a Vince guy or a Trips guy?" And in the long run, that can be a problem because look at a guy like Orange Cassidy. He would never make it in WWE or NXT landscape because of the type of gimmick he has. Look at the Young Bucks. They fit the kind of style of the smaller guys. The only difference is they have those comedy chops. They really lay into the comedy because that's what they like to do. And that's okay. That's why I really like the Young Bucks. Them doing the comedy and staying on the mic when they were wrestling Peter Avalon was funny, but that's not stuff you really get in NXT. When it comes to balance, AEW has it in spades, where WWE and more so NXT don't really have it. NXT is a new version of Ring of Honor, basically.
Well, I mean, I guess to be more fair, it seems more like a new version of PWG. As
There
you get
you
a lot
go.
of people who know a lot more about it say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, New Japan also does a better job at it. MLW does a better job at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that they kind of promote at the beginning of their things. They have like the little countdown where it's like strong style, lucha, hybrid. They kind of promote the idea that they have different wrestling styles.
Mm-hmm.
And it is varied, and you can see. They can have very different style matches. It's like Tom Lawler is not going to have very flippy match or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't see the Von Erichs really either. I mean, they have a match right now. That's more about hard hitting, shots and storytelling
Mm-hmm.
and facing heel work. So I legitimately feel he has a style, and it is kind of hampering now because it's come to a point where he's almost picking his guys, and it's just that. Like, I even feel like earlier NXT, they had some things where it's like you kind of had to be. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like Bobby Roode's not gonna be in there, but if you're gonna have him in there, you're gonna need to change up the style, and it makes it vary, and it makes a difference. You've had things like that, but yeah, it makes me feel good.
I also forgot about what's his face. Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, but he was very short-lived. It barely even counts. I think he only had like 2 title defenses on TV. One at a house show.
And unfortunately, one he ended up getting injured.
Yeah. So I guess it wasn't even like defended. It was a title loss and title defense. So I feel there's a problem there. It makes me glad that the rumor is Killer Cross is going to go straight to the main roster, which I think is good because of his size and style. I don't think he would do well in NXT. So that's kind of a weird part. Why we can almost say now, I don't know if this person will do well in NXT.
Right, and I think Keith Lee is also a lot like Kevin Owens, where he does have the smaller man matches, even though he's a big man.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, he still is allowed to do that, and that's one of the things he basically gets the advantage of. But yeah, so it's really that. I just had a real feeling after the whole takeover Portland, like it really just left a taste in the mouth that everything started to blend together, and it was almost all just very similar matches.
I'm gonna have to completely agree with your assessment there.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about it in that way, but now that you brought it up, I completely see where you're coming from.
And I know it was what do you think? And I talked a lot, but it's just because I had to do a lot of explaining to make the case, to make sure the point is.
No, I totally. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go with a my what do you think is gonna be, what do you think of that boxer guy in MLW? Do you think he is warranted here, or do you think
Boxer, the MMA guy, King Mo?
Because he's still not good in the ring, and that was probably the worst match on this particular card.
No, he's not good in the ring. I know why they have him there as a ratings boost, and I guess they don't have like a concept of a developmental, and maybe he wouldn't want to go to there. I don't know if they want to say, hey, let's work you some matches that aren't going to be on TV.
Right.
Yeah, you'd probably be offended by that, and probably wouldn't even have like the money to justify that either. So it's kind of like he's almost just doing celebrity matches, and it's like, well, yeah. So I'm not a big fan of it. I would say they probably should just leave it behind. I mean, you already know my concept of how I feel negatively about humping the Texas flag. They're really going all out here.
With filthy Tom Lawler.
Yeah. And then in Brazil, you'd be arrested. Remember that story?
I do.
From Chris Jericho kicking the flag. But yeah, so if it was me, I would rather him not be there. But I mean, I guess as a promotional thing, maybe it is benefiting them financially to give them reason to be there. Like I said, I wouldn't want him to be there personally. It's like, oh, Medusa, eat your heart out. He just threw away all of Texas. I'm pretty sure they're in Texas. So.
Oh, that's how you get a real good heel here right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to completely agree. I'm not a big King Mo guy, right? He's very stiff, and he's just and not stiff strikes. Just his body is stiff because he's not a wrestler. He's not fluid at all. But yeah, alrighty, it is time for the final segment of the night or the day or whatever the crud this is, and it is in fact the mailbag. It's where we take questions from you, the viewers, or from just places elsewhere that we have seen. And apparently we have one from a viewer today.
Yay, viewer question.
Alright, it is from Carissa McMillan, and the question is...
Does she explain it all? Get it? Carissa explains it all?
I never heard of it.
Was it Sarah? Who was Sabrina? The original Sabrina?
Oh, that is Drat.
It's what she did before she did Sabrina the Teenage
Witch.
Okay. She was like another. It was like girl show on Disney.
It's not Sarah.
No.
It starts with an M. Melissa.
But anyways, what about that question from Carissa? Melissa Joan Hart?
That's what I'm thinking too. Is it Melissa Joan Hart? I think it is. Dang it. Don't want... Let's see. Melissa Joan... Yep, Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yay. Okay, so Carissa, what does she say?
She says, as Smarks, do you think... Hold on. As Smarks, do you think you have made a mockery of the entertainment that is staged wrestling? I personally don't think so, because we give a different point of view on what we like about wrestling versus just following the WWE Universe standard. I know if I was on Straight to Hell with Ross Tweddle, I would say the WWE Universe as a concept would go straight to hell because it...
Because of their sins?
Yes, because
you know what
that...
you did, WWE Universe.
Because that whole concept of fandom is very problematic because there's no individual thought process. It's always like, oh, this is good, this is bad, and if Vince likes this guy, this is horrible. When, let's say...
I think the point that should just be made is that we're smart in the sense that in the traditional sense that we're smart to the game, that we know what it is, but we're not necessarily smart in the sense that a lot of times it gets used.
Right.
Like, once again, we're not, as we said earlier, we're not big dirt sheet guys. We're not going around with rumors. Like, we'll listen to them, but it's like, we're not going to make opinions off of that. We're certainly never going to be in a situation where... I would never be in a situation where I'd be like, I'm going to boo because Daniel Bryan's not in the Royal Rumble.
Exactly.
Because I'm not going to be a person who's going to make assumptions and say... Like, we voted ourselves.
Right.
We know that's not going to happen with Carmella.
Exactly.
We're just saying, hey, that's probably a good idea.
That's a good alternative.
We're never gonna be like, oh, they didn't do what we want with Carmella. I'm upset.
There are different. Let's take Asuka versus Charlotte, for example. Do I think Charlotte should have lost that match and Asuka should have won and become new champion? Yes. Was I upset that Charlotte won and retained? Yes. Will I take anything away from that match? No. It was one of the best matches on the card that year.
I think we both felt that it just could have made Asuka look stronger.
Exactly.
Have her like her leg be
even if her reign
down.
isn't that long, like her SmackDown Women's title reign, because
I mean, like I'm not even saying have her win. I'm just saying
mm-hmm.
lose stronger,
right, and not have Charlotte was ready for Asuka, completely destroying her mystique there.
Yeah, so we don't necessarily have the background stuff go into there. We just know the concept. I know sometimes Smarks can be trolly. I think I told you before about how my uncle, he said that he was very basically he was very early Smark. Him and his friends knew about it, so they would go and root for the bad guys.
And
just
the good guys.
Yeah, just to be trolls for people.
Mm-hmm.
We're not in that concept. We're just more, we know what it is, and we appreciate it as it is. And realistically, it really should have always just been this way.
Right.
It really shouldn't have been what it essentially was, which was a scam. If you're going to try to put a fake product out there and pretend that's a real, with real results, that's mostly a scam. It really should have never been that way. It should have just been a live action performance art of...
kind of like a martial arts movie, where for the most part, the good guy is going to win, but you can appreciate the effort that it takes.
Like, everyone knows that's a fake movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes people maybe don't get that. Like, I've heard people say, like, Bruce Lee could destroy anyone. It's like I'm sure he knows fighting. I don't think he can take on 40 guys like he can in the movies.
There you go.
So people think like that's maybe real. It's like
Bruce Lee.
Calm down.
Bruce Lee is
you'll beat up
very talented martial artist.
He could probably beat up most people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like
Ip Man trained Bruce Lee and taught him Wing Chun, and then Bruce Lee made his own.
They just pronounce it like that, Ip Man? I thought it was just IP name.
In the movies, they pronounce it like that.
I never knew. I just saw. I just saw it. Never seen it written down.
Yeah, I mean that's fair too. But Bruce Lee made his own martial art because he wanted it not to be one specific thing, but an amalgamation of many things. Yeah. So when a guy jumped his barricades and challenged him to a fight, he was able, because it's one guy, he was able to be like, you know what? I'm about to make you hurt. And he did. Bruce Lee was a martial artist and a fighter that your average everyday Joe was not going to be able to beat.
No, I'm saying that.
But
I'm saying like
against
sometimes
40 other trained fighters.
Sometimes people go a little delusional and thinking that it's like legitimately was like that good. And it's like against another guy who's trained as much, it's like they'd be very equal. He could still win, but it's
exactly.
It's not going to look like the movies.
No. There was one movie with Chuck Norris where a lot of people, I can't get the title off the top of my head, but they were in a fight in the movie, and Bruce Lee wins, but the fight is very slow, very calculating, and I watched a video where his name is Guy De Silva. He was saying how that's how a fight would go. It's a lot of standing around trying to see what the weaknesses are, where the strengths are, and reading your opponent.
He's not going to legitimately one kick a lot of highly trained
exactly guys. And in that particular movie, it actually shows what a real fight would look like.
I'm sure he will tell you that too. It's so sometimes people go a little crazy, and sometimes people go crazy with just about anything. But it's like it was legitimately, especially when you look back at it, it's legitimately weird that people thought it was real overall. Like sometimes I just think like,
especially with the portrayal of some black men
sometimes,
as well.
Sometimes I felt like you hear people say like, "Oh, I thought it was real." And it's like I feel like they were kids at the time, and they thought it was real because they're kids. But I feel like maybe their parents probably knew better.
Yeah.
But then you hear some of the people like, "I'm gonna stab him." It's like.
Calm down, sir.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, you look at that, you can tell that it doesn't look realistic. And And that's fine, but it's like it's an entertainment performance art. So we look at it as performance art.
Even right
We
now,
rate it
though,
as a performance art.
right,
We discuss it as a performance art.
and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
It
that
is-
doesn't devalue
It
it.
is live theater, but with athletics in the guise of a sport.
It's not going to devalue it. It's not the Tonys don't devalue it. Movie critics don't devalue movies. Music critics don't devalue music.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's some people, if they're going to look and be trolls.
I mean, let's look at the way. What's his name?
Which, to be fair, I always felt was a little overblown because times where like CM Punk was face, people cheered him. Daniel Bryan face, they cheered him. It's not like they only cheer for the heels. I always felt that was like a miscategorization that sometimes made sense, but for the most part didn't make sense. They were just like their guys, and it's like, and I feel like we're a lot more fair.
Oh yeah,
We're a lot more.
Look at what they're doing with Drew McIntyre right now. How they were able to just he was a heel for so long, and then just this one moment of him counting down to a Claymore, and then using that to projectile him to face status like that. It's one of the when they can and when they're on it, they can get it right. You know what I mean?
Yes, and let's also be serious here. I don't like it, the concept, because I don't think it reflects me. But sometimes you have to step back and look at it. I think it is legitimate to say that the crowd is fickle. I think, like I said, I don't like it because it's like, hey, I'm not fickle. But I gotta look at the crowd and it's like, yeah, I kind of think they are. Even if it is like in some good ways, where maybe they're returning back. Like, I think they were very fickle about John Cena. Like even saying now, like, oh, John Cena, one of the best, and it's like, calm down.
You say he's one of the worst?
Very good. And it's like, yeah, saying the worst, but it's like, you do have to look at the overall career, and it's like, he's not the worst, but I'm not putting him top 10 right now.
Right.
And
when it comes to John Cena, it always depended on who he was wrestling.
There's some people trying to say like best of the decade. And it's like, calm down. It's good. Put with the right person, he's very good.
Like putting him against Shawn Michaels or Kevin Owens. Daniel Bryan. He put on fantastic matches. Put him against someone like a Baron Corbin or an Elias. It's not gonna be the clinic that we saw.
He can get people up to level, but he can always wrestle with people
who are there,
medium or above, and be there. But
like he can be brought to a 5-star match. He can't bring someone there.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair point. We're not saying he's terrible.
Not at all.
There's a lot of guys.
He has a 5-star match. Obviously, that's not the case.
Yeah, he's above average wrestler, but I feel people went from like one extreme to the other
real quick.
And it's very fickle, and it's like, oh, the Daniel Bryan match, oh, this, and it's like, yeah, but that's a few matches, or Brock Lesnar, and they're like, oh, he can be one of the greatest, and it's like, yeah, he can.
If like, he wanted to.
I feel Daniel Bryan just really ruining everything, because like John Cena's the best. Look at that Daniel Bryan match. Brock Lesnar could be one of the best. Look at that Daniel Bryan match. It's like, maybe it's just Daniel Bryan being great.
Daniel Bryan is the best.
Maybe Daniel Bryan's the best of that last thing. That. And then, like, yeah, I was like, being lazy is bad. I can keep someone from being
obviously, Brock Lesnar wanted to perform amazing at the Royal Rumble this year. Because like you were all on board with him the entire way until he got eliminated.
Yeah, he was totally into it.
But if he's booked in a match, which it's so hard to believe that he's ever booked in a match he doesn't want to be in. But whenever he is, he's just like he's zoned out, and you can tell.
Cough. Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg when they were both about to leave a long time ago, and everyone booted.
Him versus Roman Reigns was like that.
Yeah, that was not good.
Him versus who?
I mean, Roman Reigns is another one that's very fickle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it feels like you almost can't say anything negative about him now. It's like
He beat cancer.
yeah.
But yeah, we
Roman going
take
up cancer
it
low. Roman wins.
right.
We should have known it. We should have known that Roman Reigns was gonna have the strength to do it.
But we are not suggesting that was not the case. He definitely had to face it again. He definitely beat it again. We are not taking anything away from that man.
No, it's great that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Very strong. I don't want people to think that or saying it never happened.
Exactly.
Because he just
Because I know people out there are going to be taking that out of context.
yeah, they did that with Dave Meltzer.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to say like he said it never happened. Like no, he just clarified which one he had, which type of leukemia he had, and compared it to other celebrities and said that hey, he has a very high chance of survival.
Mm-hmm.
He was just that's he's just saying the facts.
That is a beautiful shot of Mount Fuji.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, that's another one. So it's like like you really think.
So to sum up, our level of smart is a specific type for us.
Yeah, we're just
especially Liam and myself, more so than DJ. We have, and never to take anything away from DJ, because his point of views are always very interesting and a good talking point when he is here.
Yeah, always good talking point.
Mm-hmm. But the way I got into it versus the way you got into it versus the way he got into it is a different road. And for the most part, Liam and I share the same road, where DJ did take an alternative route, and that is okay. We are not, however, the type of people to look at a performer or a match and judge them solely off of the crowd or off of the dirt sheets. We want to see what they can do in the ring, and if it is something that is jaw-dropping, eye-opening, we get fully on board. Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Okada, Ishii, Suzuki, the Zack Sabre Jr., the
Same
Gorillas of Destiny. Well, I was just saying when we first saw them, we were like, whoa. Daniel Bryan, Matt Hardy for myself, Paul London, Brian Kendrick, my favorite wrestlers.
Adam Cole, baby.
And heck,
Kyle
all of
O'Reilly.
Undisputed Era.
But especially Kyle O'Reilly.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Adam Cole guy
I'm a
myself.
Kyle O'Reilly guy.
Most people are.
Yeah.
Most people are. I just like Adam Cole's charisma in the ring. I think he does a great job. To be fair, when he was first there,
beautiful eyes.
it's that hair. The hair gets me. And then to be fair, when he first arrived, John Cena was a very captivating person.
When he first arrived, or when he came in as Rapper Cena?
Rapper Cena.
Okay.
I
didn't know if you meant ruthless aggression.
To be fair, that Cena only lasted like a week or two, and then Rap Cena came and boom. But yeah, I'm specifically talking about Rap Cena.
I don't think
CM Punk.
That was funny because I think that was like a time where
HBK.
OVW was run by Jim Cornette,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe Cena's gimmick is that he was a cyborg. He was the prototype. That was his
That's
thing.
funny.
That thing he does where he like back up and flips them around.
Mm-hmm.
That was his old finisher in OVW called the Protoplex because he was the prototype.
Interesting.
Or
before the You
Batista.
Can't See Me thing?
Before.
Okay.
Yeah. Batista, the Leviathan with like the black context and.
Mm-hmm.
But cosplay wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
On realistic gimmicks. Super realistic gimmicks.
But yeah, heck, all of the New Day. But for us, it's about what they can do in ring, not so much, and then on the mic versus just their personality or just what WWE tells us to like. Because there's so many people that absolutely love Naomi, and I just don't understand it because every time I see her, she's a no-selling botch fest wrestler. But hey, if people love her for whatever reason, that's good on them.
Yeah, honestly, I can't even think of a Naomi match. I can't
And then
even
for
think.
Liam here, she's a completely forgettable wrestler.
I just remember that she hit out of the ring and then pushed the rightful winner of the women's Rumble out. That's the only thing I remember.
Which at the time was Carmelo, I believe, right?
It might have been. I just remember that and the stuff she does.
She did the heel finish, even though she was a babyface.
Yeah, no, it didn't make sense. I remember Renee Young's thing was on Instagram. It's like, oh, what? I didn't even know she was still in there. What?
Which is a problem. But yeah, so let's move on to the next question.
Yes.
And I alluded to it earlier in the show. It's about AEW and their action figures. You know, when you're a company, you've made it when you have action figures. What were your thoughts on the action figures of the ones you've seen?
I thought they looked good.
Mm-hmm. I also
I'm
agree.
not an action figure aficionado.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we see Zack Ryder, get buy some action figures.
That would be funny as heck. But the thing I'm gonna
I think
have to
it's
say,
if we see later episodes of his toy thing, and you see him walking past toys that are completely blurred out, you're like, they got AEW in stock.
That would be funny. But
you don't have to they blur out the WWF.
Really?
The logos on the old toys, they have to blur that out for legal reasons.
Yeah, because of the wildlife fund.
And it's like, man, I think we have to go that far for it.
The thing,
Those pandas, man.
they got
They're too much.
Apparently, in the ruthless aggression thing, what's his face? They were saying that Vince McMahon came up with that idea way before the lawsuits happened.
Well, like he was saying, it's full of lies. I got this in the bag.
I got this idea. We're changing the name of our show. Or our company.
WWE.
Why?
Because
no reason.
Because Walk with Frederick didn't really roll off the tongue. What does this even mean?
But it's whatever.
And 20 years later, it made sense.
But I thought the positions, because a lot of times action figures are kind of stiff and stuff. I thought they did a really good job of making them look really fluid. I think they really look nice. I also am not a action figure aficionado. I don't own a single one except for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers one I got for Christmas when my sister got it for me. But other than that, I don't go looking for them. I don't try to buy them or anything. It's not my thing. I'm a trading cards kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't have any now. Just have pop figures.
Right.
Definitely now. I used to have a gargoyle.
Mm-hmm.
The main one.
Okay.
His
Yeah.
name.
Drat.
I mean, I remember.
It's a really good Bible name. I know that.
Just like all the other ones, like Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? I can't remember all the other names, but they were just named after boroughs. A Goliath.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Goliath. But yeah, so that's our thoughts on that particular subject matter. The last question that's been floating around is the claims of a former WWE wrestler / on-air talent true of gimmick infringement? If anyone who doesn't know about the story, Abraham Washington, or that's what he used to be. He's now Reverend Jeremiah Constantine, thank you, sir. But he used to be Abraham Washington, which is a silly name. And apparently back
So
in
do you think two of our nation's presidents were silly?
No, but putting them together is. However, to be fair, that'd be like an Uber president. The will not tell a lie Abraham versus the coolest first president in the world.
It's like I cut down a cherry tree with my top hat.
But yeah, so that man has claimed that he pitched to WWE when he was working there a certain gimmick of being a reverend or a messiah or of sorts, and now Seth Rollins is using it, and he is screaming gimmick infringement, which is kind of a big deal. You don't just scream that sort of thing without actual base behind it. Also, there's another one that is the news break ad or breaking news part of The Fiend. Apparently that's his as well. What are your thoughts on all of this, his speculations and
No, they're just both too generic.
I agree. I mean, it's not like we've had the Ministry of Darkness doing a Messiah gimmick, trying to actually crucify Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, no, lots of Messiah gimmicks. Hurricane Helms, he used to have the alter ego of like the backstage reporter. So like the Clark Kent type things. That's almost like a breaking news concept. That's too generic. I mean, we had in the past. Sam Callahan said that he had the concept of sanity. CM Punk said he had the concept of the Shield. And I mean, that seems more actual plausible. And actual like strict things.
Exactly.
Granted, they were still generic enough that I could never really.
Yeah, it can never.
You can't really hold it up in court.
Exactly. So
unless you legitimately said the name Sanity and they ran with that.
Right.
This concept alone wouldn't be enough.
Because anyone can hear our concepts.
Because heels of crazy people. Whoever thought of that?
That goes back into the 70s too.
I never even understood where like the Shield was. Like Justice, but I was like, what justice are they doing? It never made sense to me, to be honest.
Oh my gosh. Like Injustice is a ripoff of the Shield. That's a total lie. That is a total lie.
They even wear bulletproof vests.
That is true. Actually, only one does, though.
Yeah, only one does.
Only one does that. The other two are
just like Roman Reigns only wears it now.
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
I think one eventually leaves and goes to AEW.
It's probably gonna be the black guy.
Have lawsuit in hand at that point.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it's WWE; they can get away with all those lawsuits. But it's definitely one of those things where
it's against pandas.
It's definitely one of those things where he's looking for clout. I think he's definitely trying to be.
What if we started up a wrestling association called World Wrestling Panda? That's just people in pandas.
WWP.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be really funny to have WWW.
It'd just be like all the WWE WWF characters in the past, but as pandas.
Oh my word. That is so ridiculous.
Panda Hogan.
So ridiculous, it just might work.
I'm gonna tell you, Panda brother, you gotta eat your bamboo, and eat your bamboo, and eat your bamboo.
And drink the bamboo. Don't ask how, just do it.
And say your prayers to the Panda God.
A lot of people or at least two people are thinking that Hulk Hogan's on Masked Singer.
It's the Macho Panda Randy Savage.
That would actually be bloody funny. WWE needs to do that. Legitimately. But I think as well, it's just him trying to get his name out there again, because I haven't heard of him doing anything since this, so...
Can you smell what the Panda Rock is cooking?
Is it bamboo?
Panda Rock. Yes.
Yes!
And he has like a little drawn-on eyebrow. Yes, so they install in costumes, so you can't really do that, bro.
But yeah, so...
You want to see me eat this bamboo? Give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Bamboo. But, any other questions you can think of?
Stop. I don't know.
Bits of bamboo out in the air.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we got our next project here.
I guess so. I guess we do. We're gonna have to buy some panda suits.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
The main goal is to be sued by both companies.
World Federation, World Life Fund, and WWE.
That's our goal.
Oh my gosh. Hey, we have the perfect alibi, or not alibi, we have the perfect defense though. It's parody. It's parody, dang it.
We put the panda in parody. We call it pandery. That's copyrighted too.
Dang it. Hold by you.
What? Oh, that's all by us. We copyrighted.
Oh, we copyrighted
Yeah.
pandery? Oh,
Yes.
thank goodness.
Pandery. When you're doing pandery, but basically you're just putting people in panda suits. And that's about it.
But yeah, I think it's time to sign out. It was a good show. Talked a lot about wrestling, as we do on Shooting with the Smarky Family.
Rest in pandas.
That one doesn't really work as much.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, that one we'll have to work on.
The under panda.
Oh gosh.
See, it writes itself.
The
Just put panda.
Hurricane Panda, or the Panda Hurricane, whichever
The
way you
Panda
want to
Cane.
say it. The Panda Cane. There we go. We did it. That's the crux that we can do. Thank you guys so much for watching us rant about pandas and watching the entire podcast, Shooting with Smart
Panda
Family.
dust.
Panda dust.
The,
Oh
The
no.
ambiguous panda.
Oh man. John Cena, you can't see Panda. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.
You can't see panda because it's just a guy without the panda suit.
Oh my.
You can't see.
It's just John Cena without the panda suit.
Yeah.
There's the gimmick there. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below and let us know what you thought on all the talking points that we presented to you. We would really love to hear your opinions
I
on
hear
them all.
pandas in my head.
Oh
They
my
talk
gosh.
to me, they understand.
The pandas talk to him. But yeah, so it's probably going to keep on going. Please, if you really like what we do, give us those sexy likes.
And the panda likes.
We're going with it. After that, please share this video and all of our videos to your friends.
And enemies. Because you can't really have an enemy as a panda, so it doesn't work.
Oh, okay. But also send them to your pandas if you have them.
Yeah, if you have pandas.
Yeah, send them to those as well. Then please go and subscribe to the channel so that way you are part of the Smarky family. After you do that, please go on to the side of that and ring the notification bell because...
Well, you want to get notified for when we go live for our podcast, Shooting with the Panda Family, every Sunday. And when we go live for live stream reactions to different pay-per-views, including the one next week for AEW. And just anytime we post videos or information polls, stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to see all of our Panda Reacts videos. They're really, really good, really popular. But, serious note, next week on Sunday, we will not be doing Shooting with the Smarky Family because we will be doing it that Saturday morning.
Right, because it's going to have the pay-per-view that night. So we're
Right.
gonna do it.
So next Sunday, we are taking that day off and just doing our own thing. However, next Saturday is when we're going to do Shooting with the Smarky Family, the predictions for the championship, and our live stream for the AEW Revolution. And it should be Pandalution. It's going to be a lot of fun. Please join in and watch with us when we do that. We are excited as always. Anything left to add?
Well, come see our first WWP event, Panda of the Ring.
Panda of the Ring.
Yes.
Yes. Don't ask us how we're going to do this, but apparently it's going to happen. And
The final's going to be Jake the Panda
Jake the Panda.
Roberts versus Stone
Andre
Cold,
the Panda.
Stone Cold Steve Panda.
And Andre the Panda.
Panda 316 says, "I just ate bamboo."
Anyways, thank you guys again so much for watching.
Oh,
And-
Roddy Panda. I came here to do two things: eat bamboo and kick butt, and I'm all out of bamboo. Oh, here's some more. Never mind.
Before this goes out of hand. Until next time, it will be awesome.
Bye. Bye, everyone.